This weekend, a huge $5.7 trillion bank just confirmed that they are getting flooded with Bitcoin interest. But they're not the only bank being forced to change their Bitcoin positions. Literally last week, another $2 trillion banks are going all in on Bitcoin. We have Goldman Sachs quietly disclosing that they have bought a whole lot more Bitcoin through the IBIT ETF. And of course, JP Morgan announced that they are allowing their customers to buy Bitcoin. We are seeing a shift in the narrative, but really the question is, why are these banks finally getting into Bitcoin today at all-time highs? Before we answer this, let's play you the clip. Here we go.
That call has worked out quite well, I would say.
Yeah. And I got to ask you, right, because everybody's talking about it. We had Bitcoin, BTC, hitting a new record high just overnight, north of $109,000 a coin. Are clients asking about that kind of exposure too, or not?
Well, generally, I think across the board, you've had more interest in crypto. We don't engage or provide investments around crypto. This is not a space we're active in.
This is not or not yet?
As of today, we're not active in this space.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Another.
So interesting take there. First of all, Nico, let's chat about that. You're hearing him say, yeah, we're getting a lot of interest, but we're not there yet, which is very interesting. Again, these guys are basically $6 trillion, one of the biggest banks in the world. And you can tell they are getting bombarded with this Bitcoin message, but they're still not there yet. And it does remind me of Vanguard. Remember what happened with Vanguard when the ETF launched? They're like, yeah, we're not touching this. And then, surprisingly, the CEO had to step down like a week later, and everyone was saying, yeah, it's because they didn't get into Bitcoin. So that's the first little tidbit. I know you might be watching this and you're like, this is some clickbait stuff, but you can tell that he is being a little cautious here. He doesn't want to go into Bitcoin, or rather their bank isn't officially getting into Bitcoin, and he's holding his words tight. He's sitting here, he's like, we're not there yet, not today. But I think that just goes to show, even though we're seeing a lot of institutional interest in Bitcoin right now, they haven't fully turned on the burners here. They're not fully in Bitcoin yet, but that they're having these conversations. It's on the horizon. And then I'll give you guys the context of some other big news going on. But Nico, what's your take on this vid?
Yeah, first of all, smash the like button if you guys are enjoying the live stream. Opti and I are in Vegas for Bitcoin 2025. We're going to be trying to live stream from the floor tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So you guys definitely want to tune in. But my two sats here is like, look, no one's better than their incentives fundamentally. He was sounded a little bit aggressive in that answer, in that response. He was, he was a little bit like, what are you talking about? We don't offer that type of stuff. But if you connect that with the news from Jamie Dimon, Jamie Dimon, big breaking news. I think we covered this last week. Essentially, largest bank in the world, Jamie Dimon's not a big fan of Bitcoin. You saw him say so many things about Bitcoin throughout the years, and he conceded. He says, you know what? Like, we're gonna have to sell this. We're gonna have to sell this for our clients. And these are market forces at work, right? Clearly, there's a lot of interest over there at UBS. They deal with high net worth individuals. These people don't necessarily want to go to a Bitcoin on ramp. And stack some sats and put in self custody. They're used to that. Custodian and investment bank does everything for you, kind of holds your hand, and they're calling and they're basically saying, "Hey guys, do you have Bitcoin?" Right? And a lot of these banks, like, imagine they don't offer it. This is why Jamie Dimon did a 180. He did a 180 because he realized that he was going to lose market share. He was going to lose clients if he didn't offer what the clients wanted, despite his feelings. He had the emotional intelligence to see that clearly. This gentleman at UBS seems like a very smart fellow. Doesn't see the writing on the wall. Doesn't see, the fact that
I think he does see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, the vitriol in his voice when he was answering that question, like, he was mad, man. He was mad. He was upset. He's like, nah, we don't offer it. Like, he wanted to like kind of rub it in your face a little bit. You want to pull up that article?
Yeah. So here I got for the audio listeners. Of course, we covered this last week, but even the Time article or Time magazine is writing about And here's the headline: the significance of Jamie Dimon's reluctant Bitcoin surrender. And we've been talking about it all last week. I even had to like give Nico a crash course on what's going on with the bond markets. And you're seeing that they're being forced to adopt Bitcoin, whether they want to or not. They have to adopt something that is outside of the traditional financial system. But basically, they have to upgrade their money here. There is no longer a risk-free return on bonds because no one wants to buy it. And they have to look to alternative places, which is, of course, Bitcoin. So, as I said last week when I covered this, I think it was Wednesday, if Jamie Dimon says something, whether you like him or hate him, he owns the biggest bank in the world. And him basically conceding his point against Bitcoin, I think this is huge news. And a lot of people aren't really noticing this. I know a lot of normies don't really understand what's going on with this Bitcoin stuff. They're probably not following the traditional financial world as closely as we are. They don't really care about what the banks are doing. They just want their banking services to work. And here we are. They are bending the knee. Now, going forward a little bit, just covering the news for you guys going back, Goldman Sachs reportedly is holding over $400 million in spot Bitcoin ETFs in their new filing, and they have doubled down. They have boosted their holdings, and of course, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, Paraminer highlights growth in cloud mining. That's whatever. But anyways, here, institutional confidence in Bitcoin continues to rise as Goldman Sachs recently increased its holdings in BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust by 28%. Guys, that's a big move. 28%. They're doubling down, expanding their Bitcoin holdings. And now they hold over 30.8 million shares valued at, I got different numbers on this. This article says 1.4. I saw it was 1.6 billion. I even saw people say it was around or over 2 billion. So we're seeing that they are being forced to adopt Bitcoin at this point. Whether they want to or not, everyone needs some Bitcoin exposure. And we've been talking about this for a long time. The only winning move is to get off zero and then doubling down. We've been covering this as well. You guys know we love when banks get stupidly bullish on us. And Standard Chartered also last week doubled down and they're like, yeah, we're going to 500K soon. It's going to get there. Maybe not this cycle, even though I'm starting to feel bullish, like we might be getting there this cycle, but they're like, it's going to get to 500K. So the real question is how come these banks are doubling down on Bitcoin? What is really going on the back end? Because my take from this is they see what we see. We're not here. We're not, 150 IQ financial analysts here. But if we can see the problem, then you got to know that they can see the problem. But they can't publicly come out and be like, hey, we're going all in on Bitcoin. There's still some reputational, damage control that they have to do. Because if they embrace Bitcoin at this point, it's not fully, as Nico likes to say, in the Overton window. It's still outside the Overton window. But we're starting to see that the banks, even though we're here to separate, money from state, we're not really the biggest bank guys, they have to adapt or they will perish. And this is what we're seeing right now. This is very interesting times. Of course, we're at, I think we kissed 110 this morning. The price is starting to get frothy. People are starting to, I'm starting to feel the life come back into me because of the price. We're here in Vegas for the conference. You're starting to feel the energy, but you are starting to see that the tide is shifting. And now the narratives around Bitcoin are becoming legitimate. We are a legitimate thing here and people have to own it, whether they like it or not. As Jamie Dimon says, what was the quote? I don't like smoking, but I will protect the right for you to smoke. Says he's not a fan of Bitcoin. And now he's like, look, I don't like Bitcoin, but if you want to buy this thing, you can buy it.
And we can make money off of you buying it. We will sell it to you. Another thing that I'll say too is, these last 2 years have been absolutely historic in Bitcoin's history. Bitcoin essentially has been accepted by TradFi, and it's been accepted by the world's most powerful government, which is the United States government. They're posting it on their X account. They have every intention of making America, the strategic Bitcoin reserve capital of the world. There's multiple states, like the great state of New Hampshire, great state of Texas, both passed bills that would essentially legalize the states creating their own strategic Bitcoin reserve. So, the Bitcoin adoption is completely on fire. It's taken a new, a new leg. This is what we talked about, back in 2018, 2019 era. You'd always hear like one of the copes was like the institutions are coming and blah, 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 blah. Well, they're here.
They dipped their toes in at least.
They dip maybe. And what I will say,
a couple billion, just dipping their toes.
What I will say too is think about how far we've come. 2021, Nayib Bukele makes his historical announcement. basically saying that, Bitcoin's legal tender in El Salvador. And, 4 years later, look at where we are. So like, imagine 4 years from now. I mean, I think we're going to see global Bitcoin adoption. I think it's a big reminder to everyone, though. What I will say is, take self-custody of your Bitcoin, not your keys, not your cheese. That's something that very important to keep in mind. Like, regardless of, because what I've seen this cycle, Opti, is this huge effing influx of the number go up crowd, which are great. Like, I love you guys.
You mean you?
But no, I take self-custody of my coins. I multi-sig, I go through that whole thing. I don't even have coins. I have 0 Bitcoin. But
he owns MicroStrategy now.
No, I don't own. I don't own anything. I own 0. I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't have any MicroStrategy. I'm just a proponent. But no, like, yeah, there's a huge like number go up crowd that are buying, MicroStrategy or the spot Bitcoin ETFs, and they're just concerned about number go up. But I think it's important to remember while we're all here, and the sovereignty that Bitcoin grants us, but only if you take that Bitcoin in self-custody. So, hey,
Nico, we had I was literally a great leading comment here by Winsome Hacks on YouTube, because I was going to basically pose the same question. And Winsome goes, we are already seeing global adoption. It's just a matter of, quote, what for? And I know that now as Bitcoiners, we are seeing the banks, we are seeing the nation states kind of get into Bitcoin. And there is a big pushback within, like the OG, more ideological Bitcoiners. And I think the question, or rather, it's begging the question, like, is this a good thing that banks are getting into Bitcoin? We know you guys love this topic on YouTube, because it's every time we talk about banks, people are just like clicking on the video, watching the video. And on the one hand, I fundamentally am not the biggest fan of the banks. Remember the 2008 crisis and what all that happened, financial crisis. We know they never got, no one went to jail. They got bailed out. We basically paid the bill, and now they're coming into Bitcoin. And there is a lot of pushback from people and kind of asking, or rather maybe lamenting and saying, like, this is not what I was here for. I wasn't here for the banks to get into Bitcoin. But then there's the other camp that's basically saying this is how hyper Bitcoinization happens, is by these institutions and these banks realizing that Bitcoin is superior money. We're at it's a superior asset stage, but until the whole world is onboarded onto Bitcoin, and whether you want to argue about technicalities, whether that's even possible, this is how we get to the crazy numbers that we all talk about, that we all, like to speculate and shitpost about. This is how you get Bitcoin to millions of dollars per coin. This is how we get to $400 trillion market caps, etc. Remember the Saylor meme of the 3 things that needed for Bitcoin to go to 5 million. It is banks custodying Bitcoin, the FASB accounting rules, and the ETFs. Well, all of this seems to be shifting now, and it shifted. It happened. But I mean, I guess the way I was going to say, the narratives around it are shifting.
Where's the $5 million
hey,
Bitcoin,
soon, Nico, lower your time preference. But I think it begs the question here, because there is a lot of people that I guess are feeling maybe disappointed or let down of the direction of Bitcoin. And I'm just like, guys, this is how it was going to happen inevitably.
I think I'm, we had Tone Vase on the show. I think it was like last week or so. And Tones an OG. He's been in the space for a long time, and he was talking essentially about the underperformance of Bitcoin this cycle, and I agree with him. So yeah, I mean, look, we hit all-time highs. We kissed 112K. The previous all-time high was 109. I mean, if this is like the way Bitcoin's gonna go from here, bro, like we're in for a long walk. I mean, if it takes longer, it's still a number go up. I mean, that's fine. But I think a lot of us are spoiled by previous cycles and those crazy kind of blow off tops. Will we get one this cycle? I think we got a mini one in November or December of this year. We got like a mini kind of euphoria phase. And then, I think it peaked when Trump was inaugurated. And now all of a sudden, life is coming back to the markets slowly but surely. Anyways, before we move on to the next segment, I do want to give a very special shout out to our lead sponsor. Guys, by far the best place to build your automatic self-custody Bitcoin stack, bitcoinwell.com. What makes them awesome, what makes them unique, is that it's an automatic self-custody Bitcoin on-ramp. That means that when you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, as soon as the funds clear, go straight to your self-custody Bitcoin wallet address, which perfectly aligns with the Simply Bitcoin ethos. Because after all, self-custody is how you win, right? So anyways, to get started, you put in your email address. It takes 2 to 5 minutes to get signed up. And bada bing, bada boom, you're ready to buy Bitcoin. Anyways, when you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, you earn something called Bitcoin Well points. And you can redeem those points towards various different prizes, like the Stamp Seed plate, a leather mint wallet, an orange Cybertruck, a Simply Bitcoin hoodie, a BitAxe solar miner, and many, many other things. Also, you could use those points towards the Bitcoin Wishing Well contest. Every time you play, you win, but you have an opportunity to win up to 1 million sats. It's like more than $1,000 these days. Get your Lightning wallets ready. First person to scan the QR code today has won 402 Satoshis. Again, if you go to bitcoinwell.com/simply, using that URL, you get 3 tosses into the Bitcoin Wishing Well. Absolutely free every toss. You have an opportunity to win up to 1 million Satoshis. All right, everybody, let's hit the numbers. We have tons to talk about. We will be right back in just a second.
I want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Stamp Seed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed words really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of writing them down on paper. Don't do that. Paper sucks. You want to literally stamp your seed into this plate of titanium. Your words are actually stamped into the metal plate with this hammer. So once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and your pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They are also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and most importantly, because this is generational wealth, time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin for the long haul. I mean, here is the plate that they crushed. They put in water, they put a blowtorch to it, and as you can see, the words have survived. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. And you can use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on their store. Head over to stampseed.com today.
All right, everybody. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $109,440. Block height, 898,478 sats per dollar, 914 Satoshis, under 1,000. Absolutely love that. Market cap, 2.17 trillion. Bitcoin price versus gold, market cap, 9.23%. Percentage issued, 94.62%. Decline from all-time high, negative 2.3%. Realized monetary inflation rate of Bitcoin currently sitting at 0.84%. Grand scheme of things, we're just getting started. Anyways, we have a video clip of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Opti, what is the clip about?
Yeah, so he came out and he's kind of doubling down on just being super bullish on Bitcoin. And we actually covered this a little bit last week. We did get kind of a news story talking about the regulatory environment around Bitcoin, and it's going to be very favorable. Well, it looks like it's going to get pushed in very quickly, and it's something that they are actively kind of vying for, which is kind of part of this trend we've been talking about here. You know, Nico loves the saying, elections have consequences. We're seeing the Trump administration kind of go full in Bitcoin. We're seeing the Trump family themselves go fully into Bitcoin. And now it seems like, and also we're seeing the SEC now has some favorable news and kind of favorable views around Bitcoin. Well, it looks like the Trump administration is confirming that they're going to push better Bitcoin regulations. Of course, they're going to say crypto, but better regulations, which of course would mean creating America as the Bitcoin superpower. And as an American, I just love to see this. So let's play this clip.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets, especially stable coins. And I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. Treasuries and Treasury bills. To put that in context, the number's probably.
Dude, I mean,
well, first of all, let's talk about they keep saying digital assets, and I think we've moved away from. Remember, for a long time when we got in, 2017ish, it was Bitcoin, not crypto. I think now we got to do the new meme of Bitcoin, not digital assets. But hey, we'll take the win where we can. And Nico, actually, I want you to cover this because he did mention stable coins. You went really hard on the Genius Act last week, how that's going to, indirectly help Bitcoin. And I think we're seeing this play out. Again, the narrative around this new regulation, of course, he said KYC, AML, et cetera, is that it's going to get pushed through in August. So if that is the case and they are kind of, speed lining this, we might be seeing some crazy stuff happen in the US, and it might be aligning perfectly with a bull run kind of run up, next leg up. So interesting stuff here. But Nico, what's your thoughts here? The push for stable coins is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, so I think Bitcoiners originally had this theory that specifically in developing countries, what you're going to see is like mass adoption of Bitcoin because their fiat currencies were so unstable. But I think what Bitcoiners forgot, I mean, there's no forgetting, but what the market has shown is mass adoption of stable coins, specifically in the global south. And the reason for that, I think, is most people on planet Earth live paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't have the privilege of being able to save. So you want something from their perspective that is somewhat stable, and hence the name, for them to essentially transact with and all that stuff, right? And also there's the illusion of the dollar, right? Like if you live in a country that has 15%, 20%, 50% inflation, you look at the dollar and you're like, wow, like this is the ultimate currency. So there's an educational component to it as well. But the reason that I'm a fan, number one is Tether, which is by far the largest stablecoin issuer. They're Bitcoiners through and through, right? That's number one. Number two, they've invested in a lot of pro kind of freedom content, like the Rumble platform. They invested a lot of money in Rumble, alternative video platforms. So again, the Tether guys aren't altcoiners; they're Bitcoiners through and through. But I think Bitcoiners have to understand too that market forces are market forces, right? And market forces are saying, hey, you know what? There's demand for dollars in the developing world. Now, the reason that I don't think that this is a long-term issue for the adoption of Bitcoin, the reason that I see it as a positive is because it just functions as a Trojan horse. It gets all these people used to using digital wallets, and they can hold dollars and send dollars and receive dollars using digital wallets. And that allows them to transact, right? So it's kind of one stepping stone away from Bitcoin, because I think specifically if you live in the US, like you've already woken up, like, the dollar's a scam. But if you live again in a country with, Argentina or like Venezuela, like the dollar is significantly better than your local fiat. But again, you don't know about Bitcoin, or perhaps Bitcoin's volatility might scare you. So it's a stepping stone for most of the world. And I think it's just accelerating hyper Bitcoinization, if anything. Now, Opti, you were mentioning essentially the Genius Act and the significance of that. Again, this was specifically stablecoin regulation that's basically going to be signed into law at this point. It went over the 60 vote threshold in the Senate that it needed. Now it just goes back to the House, and then it should pass. But essentially, the reason that was bullish, even though it didn't directly relate to Bitcoin, once again, it creates regulatory certainty and clarity for institutions and banks that, hey, the U.S. government isn't just going to turn around and try to attack the industry like they did under the previous administration, which I can make a very strong case for. A part of the reason they lost the previous election was because they went against digital assets. So yeah, man, I mean, overall kind of bullish news in general. We have a Bitcoiner in the Treasury. We have a Bitcoiner as president. We have a Bitcoiner as vice president. I was going to pull that up during the news segment.
Okay, all right, let's cover it later. Let's cover it later.
I have a Financial Times article, but this is what you guys have to understand. Aligned incentives and the Trump family, right? They're going to be speaking at Bitcoin 2025 over these next 3 days in Las Vegas. The vice president is going to be speaking. Like everyone wants to pump their bags, right? Like everyone's kind of human, right? So like the president isn't going to act against his bag, right? I know he's not a pure maxi, whatever, this and that, but I think it's positive overall. Anyways, guys, we're going to hit the news segment. We have tons to talk about. We will be right back in just a sec. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Casa. Casa makes self-custody easy and secure. As a Bitcoiner, I care about holding my own private keys, but multi-sig can sometimes get tricky. Casa nails it with a multi-key security. So even if one key gets lost or stolen, your Bitcoin stays safe. And you don't give up custody, meaning no one could access your Bitcoin but you. No seed phrase anxiety, no single point of failure. I've been telling my friends and family about Casa for years. Their UX and UI on their app is by far the best in the industry. Inheritance planning is built in, and they even offer Casa for Business if you're thinking about a Bitcoin treasury. Hit up casa.io today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 10% off Casa Standard or Casa Premium. Head over to casa.io.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, CoinKite. If you take your Bitcoin security seriously, you'll need the best Bitcoin hardware wallet on the market to take self-custody. That's where Cold Card comes in. The Cold Card Q is the most advanced Bitcoin signing device ever made. It's got a full keyboard, larger screen, and NFC support, making air-gap signing easier than ever. It's built for power users who want the ultimate security without sacrificing usability. And if you're looking for a battle-tested, uncompromising cold storage, the Cold Card MK4 is your go-to with PSPT signing, an industrial-grade secure element, and USB-C. It's the perfect blend of security and convenience. Both devices are, of course, 100% Bitcoin only, open source, and built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. Secure your Bitcoin the right way with the Cold Card Q and the MK4. Head over to coldcard.com today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 5% off anything on the store.
All right, everybody, let's talk about today's news story. Pretty big Financial Times article. Not usually a big fan of Financial Times, the Fiat Times, as I like to call it, but I do want to give a shout out to the people in the live stream. 2,300 of you guys watching live between YouTube and X. Of course, shout out to the Rumble audience. It's always going strong. If you guys are enjoying today's show, make sure that you smash that like button. Really, really helps with the algos. Anyways, let's get to it. The headline for the audio listeners is Trump Media Group plans to raise $3 billion to spend on cryptocurrencies. It goes on to say the Trump Media and Technology Group, which is behind the Truth Social app and controlled by the president's family, aims to raise $2 billion in fresh equity and another $1 billion via a convertible bond. According to 6 people briefed.
Yo, I'll keep going. I'll say it later.
According to 6 people briefed on the matter, TMTG's capital raising could be announced ahead of a big meeting of crypto investors and advocates in Las Vegas this week. So again, they're referencing the Bitcoin conference, which we're in town for, where Vice President J.D. Vance, Trump's sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, and Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, are expected to speak. The terms, the timing, the size of TMTG's capital raising could still change. 2 people familiar with the matter, with the plans, told the Financial Times that the offering had been increased in size in recent weeks due to strong demand. TMTG said in a statement that apparently the Financial Times has dumb writers listening to even dumber sources, but did not comment further. Representatives for Donald Trump Jr. did not respond for comment. A White House spokesperson declined to comment. The plan is the latest example of the Trump's family's push into cryptocurrency, which has sparked concerns about conflicts of interest. The president has vowed to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. His interest in crypto has spurred a wave of deal-making aimed at seizing on revival in cryptocurrencies. The price of Bitcoin rose to a record high of $109,000 last week. TMTG's approach is similar to that used by Strategy, previously called MicroStrategy, a former software company whose market value has surged to more than $100 billion after using debt and equity offerings to buy tens of billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The secondary share offering will be carried out on at the market terms, meaning shares are expected to be sold near their price at the closing of trading on Friday. TMTG shares closed Friday at $25.72. The Trump's family involvement in crypto has included an NFT trading card, two meme tokens, two meme coins, and stakes in crypto mining venture American Bitcoin and stablecoin backer World Liberty Financial. TMTG also plans to launch an ETF fund focused on cryptocurrency. Last week, Trump hosted a private gala dinner for the top investors in his meme coin at his resort outside Washington. So lots to unpack here, but why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at the meme coin dinner. The only utility for shit coins.
So I'm just gonna pull up the man himself. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. You know, we have essentially a pro Bitcoin president in the White House. Obviously, that's incredibly bullish for the price. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm a little bit jaded because we were promised that Bitcoin was going to go to the moon, and it hasn't gone to the moon yet. So
I mean, 100K used to be the moon.
Where's the promises? Where I want promises kept. You know, to give credit, right? Ross is free, and that's good. I'm happy about that. You know, we have a pro regulatory environment. That's cool. You know, you have pro Bitcoin, you know, regulation being passed. Dude, what's going on?
Nico's a perma bear, bro. Laughing my ass off.
So I mean, overall, just bullish stuff. But you know, where's the moon, bro? I want to go to the moon. You guys will see when I'm bullish. When I start getting euphoric, that's probably when you should.
That's
stop.
probably the top.
Oh man.
Well, all right. Well, the first time I laughed was because of the convertible bonds. I don't know about you guys, but I find it hilarious that we have, you know, Trump Media Group or the Trump family, literally the sitting president right now. He's just like, hey, Saylor, I see what you're doing, and I'm going to figure out how to do that myself because we are going all in on Bitcoin. You love to see it. It just goes to show that the Michael Saylor strategy, Bitcoin strategy.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Go on. Let's get into it.
I think the Bitcoin Treasury plays are like the altcoins of this cycle.
Dude, Nico's lukewarm takes here. Yeah, duh. I've been saying that for a while. Nico never listens to me. I say that forever, and now he's like, I got. Hey, hot off the presses. I got an inside view here.
But that implies that they're gonna blow up.
Yeah, this is why we tell you guys to buy Bitcoin and take it into custody.
Svetsky's take on this, like
find it, and then so as I was saying, you know, as we're seeing, there is a race to follow what Michael Saylor's been doing, and we've been covering this for a while. That everyone is looking at what Saylor's doing, and they're trying to figure out a way to copy it. This article literally said the Trump Media Group is going to copy what Saylor's doing because he's basically taking free money and stacking the hardest asset, the best money in the world, 21 million hard cap, and he's 100x his company. The next thing I want to hit on, Nico, before you find that tweet, is that whole kind of idea of maybe there's a conflict of interest. There's actually been an article that I've been kind of meaning to pull up on the show. And of course, you can kind of take this bias with where the source is coming from. But this has been a growing trend that we're seeing. And of course, for the audio listeners, I'm over here on CNN. And the headline is Trump's crypto conflicts keep piling up, and he's not even trying to hide them. And, you know, whatever side of the aisle you're on, I'm kind of okay with him at this point just being like, yeah, I'm in it. I am doubling down. Though it is interesting kind of on the back end. And I know we always say, everyone's it's aligned incentives here. We have been seeing a new push for the insider tradings Congress bill being pushed through. So I think this does beg the question, and I know we're biased, we're Bitcoiners, we love to see the Bitcoin president, or you could call him a crypto president, go all in Bitcoin, his family go all in Bitcoin. It really is one of those defining stamps to show like, hey, we're here, we're in the room, we're in DC, you can't ignore us anymore. It is kind of Bitcoin industry maturing. But is it the same thing, Nico, as insider trading stocks?
I mean, dude, they're all insider trading. Like, who gives?
At least we get win. At least we get to win as well.
Who gives a F at this point? They're all insider trade. I mean, like the stuff that was uncovered by Doge and Elon, like, dude, it's all just one big effing racket. Like, that's my opinion. Like, there's so much money that's wasted. There's so much money that's squandered. Everyone giving me heat in the chat. Nico looks bearish. Anyways, 2,600 of you guys watching live. Smash that like button if you guys are enjoying today's show. Really helps with the algos. Opti and I are in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wait, Nico. Before you move on, pull up that Setsky.
I'm just giving context to where we're at right now. It's a change in setting. We're together. We're going to be, Opti and I are going to be doing the show together moving forward.
Maybe we get the whole crew over here for a moment in the culture.
Big breaking. Me and Opti, we're going to, no more, dude, the remote is going away.
Remote is going away, guys.
Remote is going away.
I am moving into Nico's closet next week.
By the wayside. But yeah, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada right now for the Bitcoin conference. We're here at the Simply Bitcoin Airbnb. We're gonna try to pull in. Where's Rustin?
Pull him in. Well, I'll grab him at the break. But pull up that Svetsky tweet.
I couldn't find it. But
what was the TLDR?
The TLDR is he agrees. Like he's like, look, like I think the Treasury companies are the altcoins of this cycle, and that's what it looks like. Like, like. When you hear the phrase, infinite money glitch, does that sound like, sustainable to you? Does that sound something that's real? That's legit?
No, but I don't think that necessarily means Bitcoin's going to blow up. It means fiat's going to blow up.
It doesn't matter. It always happens. Every single cycle, there's a catalyst for the cycle to go crazy. The cycle. By the way, if this treasury strategy thing keeps working out, like this thing's going to go to like Mars. We're not going to the moon. We're going to Mars.
We're bringing back Pluto.
Pluto's too far away. We're going to go to Mars first and then maybe Jupiter. Anyways, guys, we need a great show. We're going to hit the culture segment.
Wait.
We got Rustin.
Yeah, we'll get him in. Well, hold on. I'll get him at the break. But I do want to talk about this Bitcoin treasury stuff and the altcoin meme.
We got Rustin.
Because I've been saying this for a minute now, and it might be unpopular. Hold on, let's get him in after. We'll get the whole team here. I've been saying that is the case for a minute because it does really feel like that is the case. And without going into what Nico said of it potentially blowing up, because I think if anyone's looking at this honestly and objectively, you're like, it's a non-zero chance that some of these might blow up. Who knows? I doubt it's Saylor, but one of them will.
Are they selling paper Bitcoin?
I mean, are they even buying real Bitcoin? Is the real question.
What? I think it's paper AF.
It's totally paper. But I think the pro.
If it's paper, bro, that sucks.
Yeah. Newsflash. There's 42 million Bitcoin now because they're buying not real Bitcoin. No, that's trolling. I'm just trolling. The one thing, though, good takeaway of this, though, and I think we are seeing,
like, why don't they make their reserves public like El Salvador? They could totally do that tomorrow, right? Like, show me the corn. Like you're saying, you're buying all this. You're showing you're buying all this Bitcoin, but all I'm seeing is magazine articles and stuff. I know, it's audited and whatever, but like, I don't know. Anyways, guys.
Wait. So you keep cutting me off. I have one last point. The pro of this, and I've been saying this, that it's probably a semi-good thing, and I think we have the data to back it up, that retail is not buying shit coins now because they're buying either the ETF or the Bitcoin treasuries. So if you happen to watch this show,
same thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But if you are watching this show and you're bag holding, expecting an alt season, you should probably dump that as quickly as you can towards Bitcoin, because they're never coming back. If this trend that we're seeing is, a leading indicator of where we're going, we might be seeing, and I've been one to say, like, we're never going to see gambling go away, and altcoins will be here forever, but we might be seeing the death of shit coins in real time, because now they're going into the treasuries and the ETFs, which from our perspective are shit coins because it's not real Bitcoin, but there might be a good thing. It might be a good thing.
We have Rustin in the house, and he's going to be
hit the transition.
Joining us during the culture segment. We'll be right back. I want to give a shout out to our partner, HIVE Digital Technology. Why HIVE in 2025? Unstoppable growth. As the first ever public miner, HIVE's position to quadruple their global footprint, making them one of the world's fastest growing miners in 2025. And with elite operations that consistently top the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash, HIVE's now headquartered in the USA. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable Bitcoin mining. You can catch the latest buzz at HIVE Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. Need liquidity without having to sell your Bitcoin? For more than 6 years now, Ledin has been the trusted choice for Bitcoin-backed lending with transparency, security, and trust at their core. I absolutely love these guys, and I personally not only have an account with them, but also a loan. And some of the key features that I love about Ledin is the fact that there are no monthly payments. You pay at the end of the term. You also have the ability to roll over the loan as well, and you can pay it back whenever you want. Essentially what they do is that they help their clients unlock the liquidity of their BTC, allowing you to hodl while still accessing the wealth of your Bitcoin. They've been battle tested with their focus on transparency, security, and trust, allowing them to build a proven track record of client success and security, helping tens of thousands of clients harness the value of their digital assets with confidence and peace of mind. Learn more about what your BTC can do for you today. Simply Bitcoin viewers get 0.25% off their first loan by using the link in the video/podcast description. What are you waiting for? Head over to ledin.io today. All right, everybody, we are back, and we are with the crew, the Simply Bitcoin crew in the house. You guys, of course, recognize Rustin. Of course, you guys recognize Chris. And this is Bryson. Bryson's behind
He's been on the show.
Bryson's been on the show before?
Yeah, this is our Zoomer, our reigning Twitter Zoomer. We're all in the house together. But, Rustin, I think before we go, they want a send it. So.
Oh, yeah. I thought I heard something about a shitcoin genocide.
Yo, we might have to nuke that one. Wait, come back here. Come back. Let's chill.
Why'd they all disappear?
You scared them.
We're sending it.
No. They just wanted to send it to keep it going. So, Nico, actually, which one of us has the schedule of what we're doing here?
Yeah, you guys could see us at the Bitcoin conferences. You guys, if you guys are going to be there tomorrow, we're going to be in the media segment, in the media lounge, and we're going to have a booth. You guys could see us and say hi and say what's up. And we have merch and stuff that we'll have with us, which is going to be pretty cool. And we're going to be selling it, but get yours while supplies last, because it will sell out like very, very quickly. So get yours while supplies last.
There's less than 21 Simply Bitcoin t-shirts.
Yeah, so get your Simply Bitcoin merch while supplies last. I see that we did break 201 likes. Smash that like button. Help us break 250 likes by the end of today's show. Anyways, I'm going to pass it around the horn. Historical Bitcoin conference. We have the first, this has never happened before. I get it. But technically, when Trump spoke at Nashville last year, he was a candidate. He wasn't a president. I know he was a previous president, but this is the first time you have a vice president speaking at a Bitcoin conference, which I think that's never happened before. It's huge. Also, you have someone that's part of the cabinet, part of Trump's administration, who essentially is advising Trump on his policy. You have David Sachs, who's going to be making a speech as well. And then you have the president's sons, right? Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump that are going to be speaking. So, I mean, it's not effing rocket science here. Like, the president of the United States wants number to go up. That's pretty effing clear to me. Rustin, what are your thoughts, bro?
This is going to be absolutely wicked. And I think unless you don't want to be on the receiving end of something, you better tell JD thank you whenever you see him walk by. I'm also fairly certain that the new Pope will not be on site. But we're going to have a hell of a time. This is going to be insane. I liked what you were talking about earlier. What happened? Shitcoins are dying? Is it like Bitcoin treasuries are the new shitcoin? Why does
we got to get Rustin off the mic.
Buy your own Bitcoin. Stop buying theirs.
Is it though, Rustin? Are we seeing that happen?
It's happening. It's happening.
You heard it.
Bitcoin treasuries are the new shitcoins.
All right. Let's work it, Chris. Chris, historical Bitcoin conference. We got, of course, vice president in the house. Russ is crazy. We got a vice president in the house, and yeah, and we have White House David White House crypto and AR Sachs, David Sachs, and you have two of Trump's sons that are going to be making an appearance. What are your thoughts? It's absolutely historical. By the way, at the end of the show, we will have a special appearance by Weinicus. He's going to be giving a 30-minute presentation on NAX. It's going to be incredible. So he's going to be joining us here in just a sec. I know you guys are all expecting that. So smash the like button if you want Weinicus to make an appearance on the show, and comment all caps Weinicus. Chris?
No, I think just look at the timeline. In 2023, a lot of the Bitcoin projects or a lot of developers in the space were being attacked by the previous administration. Shouts out to the Samurai developers. They've been in jail, unfortunately, over a year, or at least their case is ongoing for over a year. I think they've been released on bail. But yeah, they're still fighting for their lives in the case. And the pdprights.org is a great way to donate for them. Obviously, it's a landmark case, and it's going to be a trickle-down effect of basically free and open source developers. So if you can support them, anything you can do is a huge support for them. But to Nico's point, elections have consequences. That's kind of a theme that we've been talking about for 6 months to a year now. And I think that with this new administration, we're hoping that we can reverse some of the hostile or toxic policies that were enacted in the previous administration. I'm not hoping, if we can get them out on good case law is actually better, because then that sets the precedent and people can't overrule that, or judges or previous or future administrations can't just throw developers in there for no reasoning. A pardon would be great, but like I said, once again, then you have to have future pardons in order to get out of situations like this. So I'm hoping that our judicial system makes the right call. They free the Samurai developers, obviously the Tornado Cash case, obviously the Bitcoin Fog case. Those are three monumental cases. So like I said before, p2prights.org is a great way to donate to help them. Obviously, they're fighting for these cases, and we hope that the U.S. judicial system has good case law, and that will affect, it trickles out to Europe, that'll trickle out to the rest of the world. So that's what my shout's out to here.
Great point. Now we're gonna get Bryson. We're gonna get Bryson to jump in. But before, big breaking, we got a comment from Elaine. Mad at Wine. He betrayed our memes. So
yes, Wine is the real reason the meme review died. Just to let you guys know,
Wine is responsible. Where's Bryson? Get Bryson in here, bro. Bryson. Let the people know your thoughts, bro. And then we'll wrap it up.
I'm the king of clickbait. Yeah, I can't take that title. Someone else in the media industry already has it, but I'm not going to. No, yeah. I mean, this
Wait, is this your first conference?
This is my first conference.
Let's go.
So I'm hoping I don't run into too many feds. I'm so cooked.
Nice feds. It could be nice feds.
There's no such thing as a nice fed.
Can't let Zoomers do anything without a lead.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
But this adoption is insane by corporations and treasury companies. But I mean, the signal is getting lost. And I think it's important to remember that all of these corporations need to adopt Bitcoin to survive. But you, the individual, the sovereign, does not need to adopt a Bitcoin treasury stock to survive. It makes little sense for you, a hodler, or an autist like all of us, who can self-custody, to be buying, various stocks and funding their Bitcoin treasury companies when you could be building your own. So I think that'd be just a good note to leave everybody with.
And again, as promised, final words by Weinicus explaining NACS. Weinicus has made an appearance.
Yo, can we zoom in on me?
Yeah, I don't know how to work it.
Let's get the viewership up. Zoom in. I need full screen.
So Weinicus,
is there a correlation with our views going up and me on the mic?
We're about to find out.
Oh no.
We're about to find out. All right, so Weinicus, what is a NAC?
A NAC is the standard smallest unit of a coin. It's 69 sats. So whenever you NAC somebody, I don't know, you're sharing the love. Okay.
Thank you, Weinicus.
It hasn't caught on yet.
Thank you, Weinicus. Opti, close up on me, guys. We love you all. Appreciate
Send
it.
us buy shirts.
Go to
Give
simplybitcoin.
money. Us money.
Get him off the mic.
Give us money.
Weinicus's Bitcoin Treasury.
Smash the like button. What else?
Go to simplybitcoin.com.
Wait, come back to me. Come back to me.
We're all starting Bitcoin.
Go to simplybitcoin.com. Check out our merch.
Smash the like button, guys. What else? What else? What else do we want from them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Send money. What else? We like support us.
Okay. Don't send money.
Support us.
Buy Bitcoin first. And if you want to, go check out the Simply Bitcoin merch.
Support us.
Go check out the Simply Bitcoin merch at simplybitcoin.com. Check out the latest drop. But we love you all. We appreciate it. We're going to be attempting. We're going to see. It's always kind of chaotic on setup day. But if everything works out, we will be live streaming Simply Bitcoin live from the conference floor tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. We've never done that before. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited. We have an hour block. And shout out to our friends over at Rumble at the Rumble booth. We're going to be live streaming the show, regular show time. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So appreciate you all. Love you all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe if you feel like we provided you value. And we'll see you tomorrow from Bitcoin 2025. Take care, everybody.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.